Geeks and Gamers. Matt Lemke here with Through Gamer Goggles, and today we're going to take a look at pinning Heavy Gear Jager from the GP squad. Basic pinning, you're going to need a paper clip, some kind of drill bit, power drill, electric drill. If you got a small one, they can work just as well, just as easy. And we're going to look at two different things on the Jager, which I actually need another set of arms to show you what I'm referring to, or another body set. Hold on a second. Probably saw my bald head there, or semi-bald head here. There, we're going to grab one. So this is probably going to be pretty short. Basically, you need a Jager. You might need for the approach I'm using, you need a file. I'm actually going to pin the body on this model as well. And what I did is I filed this flat like that, and I drilled my hole in it. As you can see, the hole is far bigger than the pin, and you can approach that in a couple different ways. Something I've done in the past, where's my tweezers, is I have filled the hole with epoxy and then put my pin in it. The pin's a little small, tough for me to hold. And you basically put your pin in there just like that, and you put your glue around it. The smallest drill bit that I have is actually a little bit smaller than the paper clip itself, so I stepped it up to my next size drill bit, which is like twice the size of a paper clip. So I'm stuck a little bit doing it this way. And first thing you do is you file it, and then you take your drill bit like so. I'm not going to drill anything out. I'm just going to go through the motion. You drill it until you have a nice depth. I like to put my pins in relatively deep. Then you add a little bit of glue. You take your pin, if you can pick it up, and you put it in the hole. Then I like to find something that I'm not going to worry about destroying. In this case, it's a magic card, and I'm going to push it all the way down. It's a mountain that I have hundreds of, so I'm all fine and dandy with that. And then I'm actually going to take the time to put this guy on his base, which I probably should have done first, but I want more to work with. So I'm going to put him on his base. Put a little bit of glue here on that corner. It's just more for me to hold. And then I have already drilled out, you can see the little hole there for the top of the model. Now I'm going to put a drop of glue in there. Before it's too dry, I want the pin to be able to move so they can we'll call it mate. So they can match up and I can play around with it. The other cool thing about if you take a bigger drill bit, you have more freedom. You don't have to be as accurate with your pin placement, and you can move it around. Same thing with a two-part epoxy. If you put the two-part epoxy in both parts, when you do this, you have a lot of freedom to move the pin around and position your model the way you would like it to be positioned. I'm gonna set him aside for a second. We're gonna talk about the torso and the arms. What I did is I took two approaches to the GP squad. As you can see, that ball joint there is pretty big. So what I did is I even took a bigger drill bit to show you two different approaches, and I just took the arm divot. Well, let's see, where's my other set of arms that I grabbed? I didn't grab them after all of that. There we go. You can see how the arms come attached. See how small the holes are in comparison to that one? And all I basically did is I took this drill bit and I widened the hole a little bit so that it'll fit better than that fit there. It'll fit much more like a ball in a joint is designed to, and it's not really pinning, but it's kind of a pin. And then on the other side, what I actually did is I drilled out as if I was going to pin the model, so I could show you both. Whoops. And the model's not dry yet. Creates a little bit of a dilemma. It's the base that's not dry, of all things. The thing I wanted to give me more meat to hold it. So, I'm going to cheat a little bit. Now that I've cheated and the model is actually dry, we can start by playing around with it. And well, I'll be dang, I wasn't paying attention when I did that. So you get to see me drill out a hole here for the pin. I cut off the ball joint on this side, so I need to drill out the hole a little bit so the pin will go in. Oh wow, that's gonna be fun. You can do what I just did and you can drill all the way through, which is not what I recommend doing. And then I'm gonna take this one here, this little drill bit, and I'm gonna take this here and just give it a couple turns. Not a lot. Just enough. I'm even going to take a little bit of a file and clean it out. If I could find my round files, I would have used a round file on that. So we are going to actually break down today, and we're going to use a little bit of two-part epoxy. Just as way much, but it's such a small area. You have a hard time. Now, I recommend also that when you're doing this at home, these two-part epoxies can have quite an influence on your skin, I recommend you wear gloves. Don't be silly like me. And certainly don't eat food without washing your hands if you don't wear these gloves. Basically, you mix this up until it's a uniform green. Something like that. It's a little bit dark, so maybe it needs a little more yellow, but I'm going to go with it. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in. I'm going to roll it into a cylinder shape. And shove it in there. Maybe. Maybe I need to shove it in from the other side. Stuck to my finger. Let's try that one more time. Get it in that hole a little bit. Take my knife, my beat up knife, this is the one I use for cutting glue and everything. I'm just going to pack it in there. And as you can see, it came out on the other side, which I'm pretty fine with. I'll just pack that down a little bit. Now, I have some place for the paper clip that I'm going to nip off. That'll go in this side here. I'll nip it off. Something like, oh, that. And I'll even take the rest of that 2-part epoxy that I had and I'll put it in this side. Oh, pulled it right out. It up. Slide it in there. I can slide it in on the other side. And boom. It's done. Now I can play around with it as much as I want. Make my joints the way I want it to. Then I can take this one here. Now it's going to take a good 24 hours or so for this to set. But I can take this one and just glue it on. And of course, you know, we're only pinning here, so I'm not going to do the head at all. There you go. Well, maybe I will. I'll do the head since it doesn't take that long. Nip off the flange. Put a little bit of glue. Female end. Attempt to pick it up without gluing it to my fingers, which I just did. Now, when you pin like this, with the epoxy, it does take a little bit longer to dry, but I think in the long run, if you don't mind working with epoxy, it is well worth the advantage. I mean, there's so much you can do with the maneuverability, and you don't have to play around with the glue. There you have it. A pinned Jager for Heavy Gear Blitz and, well, technically Arena. No weapons on this model yet because I haven't gotten that far. It was just a pinning video. Thanks for watching. This is Matt Lemke with True Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Have a good day.